Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist. I own 52 units of real estate and I help coach people to buy their first multifamily deal. So today I want to talk about the reality of stress. So it's kind of funny. When I was growing my wealth, building my wealth, buying real estate, grinding it out to build wealth, I was stressed because it's stressful to push yourself. It's stressful to, juggle multiple things. Like I was working full time. I was renovating my 26 unit apartment complex. I was renovating my mobile home park. I was renovating my 20 unit apartment complex, trying to, maintain social norms of my, fiance, girlfriend at the time, now wife, and, just live your life on your terms while staying healthy, not compromising health and all that, right? Because, wealth without health is useless. Like if you are healthy, you have 1,000 problems and 1,000 stressors. If you're unhealthy, all you want is one thing, which is to be healthy if you're unhealthy. So, for me, despite the grind, despite all that, I probably still worked out. Probably not as hard as I should have, just because I just kind of went there to de-stress, if I'm being honest. And, now that I'm less stressed, I'm ramping up my exercise program. And my cholesterol was a little bit higher, a little bit high normal. So, trying to exercise more and more rigorously like how I used to. But anyways, I basically, during the growth period, I was highly stressed, right? You're juggling multiple things. And I'm not to say that you live a stress-free life, but it's just a period of time, right? I remember I was financially stressed because my mobile park was losing money. When I was trying to sell my mobile home park, it was so stressful that I fell into depression. I had anxiety. I couldn't sleep as well. I would wake up, I call it wired and tired, where you ever wake up before your alarm clock and you just feel so wired and tired still, and you're just kind of going through the motions of the day. You're not as emotionally resilient. So that's the period of growth, right? It's stressful, and I've been transparent. I was stressed. If you go on your wealth building journey, you'll be stressed too. But now I kind of hit a period where I feel like I'm just kind of stagnant, and I'm not really growing. I'm not really building my wealth. I'm not really growing professionally in my career. Everything is stabilized, not much to do. So I feel kind of very stagnant, very bored, very, at peace, right? But to me, I'm stressed. I feel stressed too. I'm how does this make sense? I'm not renovating a mobile home park. I'm not doing all these things. I'm just going to my job, go home, watch TV, relax, eat some food, do something with my wife. And I'm still stressed. And what I realized is, just like your problems, I have a video talking about this. Problems don't go away, they just expand. And I think stress is the same thing. Stress never goes away, it just expands. So what I find stressful now, I wouldn't even consider stressful back when I was renovating my mobile home park and my apartments. So I'll give an example. For my first home I bought, there's an HOA. And one of the board members of the HOA is super nitpicky, probably some type of Karen. And basically, it's kind of picking on my house or my tenants because the window, there's a weird grid in the middle of the window. And I guess because it gets hot, it fell down and it looks like an X at the bottom. And I can't open the window to grab it. So I'm actually forced to replace this window completely. And there's apparently my tenant's probably not the greatest at maintaining the lawn in the front, but the HOA doesn't take care of the lawn. But there's this weird I don't even know type of weed or crabgrass, I don't know what, but it grew pretty tall. It grew up to the point of being at the level of the second window. And then I asked my tenant, I'm oh, did you trim that? Can you trim that? And he was just oh, I trimmed it last month and it grew that fast. And I'm a little bit skeptical. I don't think something can grow that fast. And it can't go from the bottom all the way up to the second floor that fast. But it's an easy fix anyways. And what happened was the HOA is so old fashioned that they're sending citation fines or warning letters to my mailing address. But my mailing address was my prior place I was living in an apartment. And I didn't know until one day the board member approached my tenant, and she wasn't supposed to, but she was kind of hostile towards him, kind of threatening him. And he just reached out to me saying, hey, call the HOA, see what citations you have about the window, and then the weeds, I'll take care of the weeds when I'm back. but if you can take care of the window, that'd be great. So I called HOA, and they're just like, oh yeah, like we've been mailing citations to like this address. I'm like, oh, it's not my current address. Like, had I got the citation to my address, I would have addressed it immediately, or had you emailed me or called me, I would have addressed this immediately. But you sent me a letter, old school, right? And it's to the wrong address. Like, who sends letters nowadays, right? Anyways, got that corrected, and then I basically got fined like $200 a month for the past like 5 months. That's $1,000, and I straight up told HOA, hey, like, to replace the window at most is $500. Trip down that tree, $100, $600. Like, why are you gonna fine me? I can use that money. I'll fix the house. And he was just like, well, just fix it first, and then you can, appeal the fines, and maybe they'll waive it or reduce it. So that was my stressor, right? But like, if this happened to me like 2 years ago, where I was doing my mobile home park, my renovations on my apartments, I was like, this is nothing. This is a minor issue, right? This is nothing. Like, at that time, I would be like, yeah, this is whatever. This is, was it $600 to fix this? I was making $10,000 decisions every single month with my mobile home park, right? But now that my life got easier, little things stressed me out, like that. Like, this same stressor or problem that I had today would have not even bat an eye 2 years ago. So it got me thinking, stress never goes away, it just expands once again. So like, unfortunately, we're built to be stressed because that's our survival instinct, right? So it just pivots to other things. I'm like, why have I been stressed? It's because of that. And I'm just like, I've been through something worse, and this is still stressing me out. So it's quite interesting. Like, even when I'm stagnant, I'm fresh, and when you decline, you're stressed, right? So in all three scenarios, if you are if you're growing your wealth, you're stressed. If your wealth is stagnant, you're stressed. If your wealth's going down, you're stressed. So in all three situations, all three possible outcomes, you're stressed. Well, if that's the case, if I'm stressed either way, I'd rather be growing and being stressed, but growing at a pace where it's not like overwhelming, but enough where I'm having growth, because I'm dealing with stress. Because like, I'm feeling stressed being stagnant, and I'm feeling stressed when I'm declining. I'd rather be stressed growing a little bit here and there every day, right? So it's quite interesting to think of that for me. And same with problems, right? Problems never go away, they just expand. Stress never goes away, it just expands. So that's why you see people like me. I always make fun of remote workers, right? Like, what the heck could a remote worker be stressed about? But I guarantee, because I'm like, you don't have to deal with office politics, you don't have to commute, you just roll out of bed, turn your laptop, and you're ready for work, right? You can eat breakfast, brush your teeth, run errands. Like, how you stress? But I know the moment, if I do get a remote job one day, I'll be like, oh, this person, they sent this tone in this email, it's so annoying. So it's kind of relieving in a way, like, to know this. Like, I guess as my life gets better, as my problems start to go away, I just will start to pivot my stress and problems into something else. And I kind of make fun of my wife, Christine, about this. Like, she used to nag at me about like washing the dishes, and then I started washing the dishes and using the washing machine, and now she doesn't nag at me about the washing machine. And then she moved over to, I don't vacuum, so I got a Roomba, and it vacuums 3 times a week now, right? So I solved that problem. And now her next thing was, oh, you never helped me like cook. So lately, I've been helping her cook, and she's like, oh, this is nice. Like, for the first like month or two. And now she's like, now that she's like had this, she's like, oh, she moved on to the next thing. Like, oh, you don't do what I say immediately. See, as you can see, the problems just keep on stacking, right? So it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. And I kind of called it out in a funny way. I'm like, dude, like, every time I fix one of your problems, you just focus on something else. I'd rather just have you focus on one problem, and I'm okay with you being on that problem. Right? Just like pick and choose what hill to die on. Like, if I want her to nag at me for the rest of my life about not doing the dishes, I'd rather have that versus she just keeps on moving up the ladder. So same concept, right? So I think that's just the problem with, as life gets easier, as problems get easier, you just refocus your problems and your stress somewhere else. Like, I used to not have like cruise control in my car, and I used to not have Bluetooth in my car, and now like when my Tesla autopilots, I'm like, oh, it accelerates and stops too fast and hard. But I'm like, dude, your car drives by itself, or autopilots by itself. But before, I was, when I first got the Tesla, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I don't have to steer. I just press the button and hold it, and then it just goes. But now that I've had it, I'm like, it could be better. So it's once again, like, stress and problems never go away. They just expand to something else, something more petty in big picture, right? So, because like for me, how I know I'm stressed is and my downfall is if I am overstimulated before I sleep, my problem is that I have bruxism, which means I grind my teeth, or like I'll clench my teeth, and then you wake up and you have like a headache and all that. So if I'm overstimulated at night, which I have been, I'll clench in the middle of the night. So I was like ruminating about like all the things I have to do for, my property. But then I keep on trying to remind myself, like, dude, okay, this sucks, right? I bet this spend $600, or to fix a house, and maybe I have $1,000 fine at $600, but this house has made me $600,000 without much work, same tenant. So like big picture, would I take, let's say call it $2,000 of inconvenience to make $600,000? I would, right? So, anyways, that's just kind of like funny that it happened. But you think as you get wealthier and richer and more real estate, like your stresses go away, but it doesn't. Either you just pivot your stress towards something else. Like I said, if I fast forward 2 years ago and say, hey, 2 years, Steven, your real estate's stable, you have a great job, you have a house, you're married, you have all this, I'd be like, oh my God, my life must be amazing. And then once I'm there, I'm like, oh, like I'm now stressed about this little minor thing, right? So it's quite interesting. Like you think as you have money and wealth and all that, like your stress go away. No, it doesn't. Like if you have money, it just solves your money problems, but then you still will pivot to other problems, right? So basically the key is, once again, if I'm stressed, I'd rather be growing and being stressed, but growing at a reasonable pace, not like super insane rapid growth, but at a very reasonable, sustainable pace, right? And I think I'm obtaining that, but despite that, I'm still feeling stressed in some aspects, right? Like now I'm feeling stressed of like, oh, I need to maximize my weekends, before I have kids. My no kid era is coming to an end, so I need to like go to all the concerts, go to all the speakeasies, do all the things, right? Like that's what I'm really trying to do. Travel as much as I can, like just do whatever. So yeah, it's quite interesting just having this realization. So I just wanted to share this with you because when I was stressed when my net worth was negative $250K with student debt, and I'm still stressed today when my net worth is $7 million, 52 units, right? Like if you told me like 10 years ago I'd be where I am today, I'd be like, I must not be stressed and have a good life. But that's false. You're stressed the whole time, right? At the beginning you're stressed, at the end you're stressed, in between you're stressed. It just comes with life, I guess. Unfortunately, I guess, that's why I think there's a Buddhist saying that life is suffering. So I guess this is it, right? This is the human experience. So anyways, just wanted to share my insights as to stress, and hopefully you took some nuggets out of this and on your wealth building journey to know that it's okay that you're stressed in the beginning, you're stressed in the middle, and you're stressed at the end. And you continue to be stressed. That's just normal. But anyways, if you want to buy multifamily, hopefully with less stress, click on my link tree down below for my mentorship program. You can do some coaching, one-on-one coaching. You can do some courses. You can send me an email for a discount code. Otherwise, please like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you next one. Thank you so much.